Dear Socialist Grandfather, would a free market continue to exist under economic democracy, or would central planning take over? Market mechanisms to allocate resources versus central planning is a false dichotomy. Every large capitalist corporation uses central planning. Democratic economic enterprises would continue to do so. And markets with rules set by truly democratic governments to benefit all, rather than elites to benefit themselves as we have today, would not lead back to minority rule. So economic democracy would likely continue to use them insofar as they enable efficiency as measured by human and environmental progress. Today's so called free market is, in fact, a set of rules designed to ensure the protection and growth of existing wealth and power. It allows wealth holders to socialize the cost of environmental, health, and other damages while keeping their profits private. That's the main point of this so called free market. The rules of a market in an economic democracy would insist that the social, environmental, and other costs of any product or service were incorporated into its price. This, together with social ownership of all social enterprises, would enable markets to allocate resources in a truly efficient manner that would benefit humanity and the environment we live in. On the other hand, there would be no worshiping the market. The well being of humans and our environment would always take precedence over what is called economic sense by supporters of capitalism today. Hey, socialist grandpa, would economic democracy mean an end to small business and people working for themselves? The exact opposite. Small businesses and individual enterprise would flourish because capitalist big businesses would no longer be seeking to increase profits by squeezing them or gobbling up small businesses. It's capitalism that is turning everything into a franchise and creating new sorts of almost feudal relationships. It's capitalism that destroyed independent craft production. Economic democracy seeks to democratize the economy, not stifle individual entrepreneurship. Socialist grandfather, would small businesses be allowed to have employees, or would they need to become cooperatives to grow? The best way to answer that question is to ask another. When does a small business become a social enterprise? Different communities will have different answers. Some might determine that 10 employees makes it a social enterprise, some 50 or 100. There would likely be many ways of answering this question depending on the history and culture of a particular place. Since a key feature of economic democracy would be multiple owning communities and diffuse power, it would have the flexibility to experiment with various approaches to see what works best. How about family farms? Are they individual property or social enterprises? Depends on the size and number of people employed, just like any other business. As a general rule, smaller family farms would be encouraged, just as small businesses and working for oneself. A primary goal of economic democracy is to release the creativity of people because that benefits everyone and should be one of the key reasons to work. One of the ways to make this happen would be to mandate community owned banks and credit unions to offer a certain percentage of their loans to farmers and other small businesses with creative ideas about new products or services.